Scooter, when I look at your life and I look at the things you've achieved, so much of it makes sense, but then there's these other parts of your life where there's these big question marks that I'm hoping you can answer for me. And maybe the earliest question mark that remains in my head is what it is that drives you. Because from an exceedingly young age, there was this dog in you. There was something. For me, when I was going through the research, it looked like a chip on your shoulder or something to prove to someone. And so that's really where I wanted to start. I want to understand your earliest context so I can understand the cauldron that Scooter was shaped in and the way that that made the boy turn to a man. Big question, but that's
The starter,
the
right out the
burning
gate.
question in my head.
You know, it's funny because you started by asking Scooter, what drives you? And it took me a long time to figure out as an adult that it was actually Scott, my real name, that was the real driver. And I really created this guy Scooter when I was an adult because I didn't think Scott could achieve these things. So I almost like created a mask. And it wasn't until I was 40 years old doing some intense therapy that I fell in love with my name again and realized the answer to your question, which is part of it was shame of why, with my family's background, am I getting all this privilege? My father's a refugee from Hungary. My mother, her dad died when she was 11, and her mother struggled to raise them with family help in the Catskill Mountains. My grandparents were Holocaust survivors. And here I am, first generation, born in America, and I wanted to prove that I could be more than the privilege I was born with. And so I had that chip on my shoulder. I wanted to prove my value. I wanted to prove I was worthy of this.
Who's told you you had to?
No one. I think, as a kid growing up, I read it that way because, you're hearing the stories of the Holocaust, and my dad, every night before he put me and my brother to bed, would say, hey, boys, you're different. You're special. I hold you to a higher standard. Every night before we went to bed. And we started to really believe him of like, we need to hold ourselves to this higher standard. We need to do more. The idea of failing, the idea of looking at my parents and not achieving it, that's what drove me.